Another young Tasmanian artist is making a mark on the Australian music scene. Hobart local Christopher Coleman this week won a national music competition and recently recorded his first album overseas. But as Linda Hunt reports, he's overcome a considerable obstacle in the process.
Well, I don't care, you get up, get dressed, wash face, breakfast.
Christopher Coleman is performing at Melbourne's Forum Theatre. It's the grand final of Telstra's Road to Discovery competition, a national talent development program.
Former winner for 2013, Christopher Coleman.
The win finishes the year on a high for the performer after a roller coaster ride.
I'd just like to thank Mum.
The 25-year-old Hobart local is a born storyteller.
Chris comes from a great background of a family that had music as a language of the way they spoke to each other and the way they communicated. So it's just something he had in his hands and his heart as well as in his mind.
Help, I feel that I am trapped in a storm.
Christopher Coleman honed his music skills with the family band The Colemans. He plays guitar, bass, drums and piano. He's now making a mark with his 5-piece band, the Christopher Coleman Collective.
Oh, sweet, sweet melody, where you sit that you would be, I need to find you right now.
The band recently finished a 2-month tour of the UK and recorded their first album in Sweden. Coleman's musical year culminated in the competition.
So I was in Melbourne doing some shows and then fly up to Sydney, and then they put you on Qantas rather than Tiger Airways, and you get chauffeured to your 5-star hotel, and then you rehearse in studios where Dylan and Bowie have tracked, and it's just insane. And then back to couch surfing.
Christopher Coleman has found himself back in his childhood home, but he's okay with that.
Sure, I moved back in with my parents a couple of months ago. Apart from that, I feel like I've made it.
The move was prompted by illness. He'd been showing signs of anxiety for several years.
Yeah, I went through a period where I'd just get to the venues as late as I could, and then play and then hide in the green room until everyone had left.
It reached a peak late last year when he failed to board a flight to Melbourne to meet up with the rest of his band.
I just couldn't get out of bed. Like, I was just petrified of having to deal with what was coming up. And so we had to cancel 3 shows.
Soon after, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
If you have 5 friends, then the chances are that in any year, one of them will experience a mental illness.
It was an ironic turn of events for the musician, who'd filmed an online advertisement for Mental Health Week several years earlier.
I'd never had experiences with anxiety, depression at all. And I was approached to do this ad, and I was kind of going, I don't really feel qualified to speak on this.
Bipolar can heighten the creative process, but can also destroy it.
When it was really significant, it was, I could write 4 songs in 5 hours and then burn them.
That's changed since taking medication.
I was concerned about whether or not I'd still be happy with the writing, or whether it'd just be mundane kind of, I'm so stable, love mood stabilizers. It's not. You still write with inspiration. You just don't.
Well, you don't burn yourself.
You just don't burn.
Still searching for this dandelion flower.
Christopher Coleman has a small team working away on his success. a publicist in Brisbane, a booking agent in Melbourne, and his Hobart manager, a high school friend.
His lyrics and his vocal in telling that story, it's so evocative that that's what gets me sort of going and wanting to ensure that that gets out to the rest of the world, you know.
DARIO PHILLIPS is hoping exposure from the competition will help that.
There are definite opportunities that will support Chris to be able to continue writing for many, many years to come and do that sustainably and build a career out of the networks and people that he's now met.
One of those people is former Killing Heidi frontwoman Ella Hooper. The pair have been emailing ideas about recording one of his songs. Winning the competition has netted Coleman $14,000 and a trip to Nashville to perform at the next Americana Music Festival. But his benchmark for success remains fairly modest.
Collaborating with people I really respect. I've got a great group of friends who play with me live when we do band shows. Like I'm happy where I'm at. But I reckon, yeah, when I've got my own house, I think